Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. We have 3 days before it's going to snow, and I need to get all of this stuff either back inside or to the dump by then. So, this is where I'm at. My brother was over the weekend, and together we got enough floor joists in to get one panel fastened in place. This is good to go. We also got the other two full panels that need to go up here. We had a ladder over here, and my brother and my daughter's boyfriend passed a panel up, and I pulled it back here. So what I got to do today, well, I have 3 days until it's going to snow, and I want all of that stuff out of there by that time. It's probably not going to be much of a snow, but it doesn't matter. I got to get this done. I have the area over by the chicken coop all nice and cleaned out, and I brought all of that stuff over here as well, so got a big mess out there. I have 3 days to do this. It's going to snow Saturday night, and I have 2 dump days before that. Today's a dump day, and Saturday's a dump day, and Saturday evening it's supposed to snow. So I'm going to get started with putting more floor joists in. Then we have one panel that I believe it's like 7.5 feet long, and it's got to have a notch out for that bracket, and it's got to have a little ledge there to catch the end of it. Got a few things going on with it. Then we have a half panel, and then the other full panel, and another half panel. And with that in place, I can get a lot of stuff up here. But then there's some skinny panels that go along the edge back there, and I should get those in place as well. Once I have the deck in here, I can move everything that's going up here, up to a certain point. I still got to put wall panels on over here, so I can't get that all clogged up, but that is what it is. Let's start going on the joists here and see how far we can get today. Like I said, I got 3 days to get this done, and we have the layout done. My brother did the layout on here, so I don't have to worry about that. All I got to do right now is cut a bunch of floor joists and fasten them in place. We have 6 floor joists cut, and we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a missing stud there. That'll be going in a little bit, but that won't stop us. The 5th one is going to go right above that, and then we're going to have one right on the post there. So I have to put the one on the post on first, but before I do that, I have to put something going up from that girt to catch the very end of the panel. And I think I'm just going to put 3 or 4 pieces of wood going upwards. I can't get anything in without a hanger or something, and a lot of pain in the butt stuff. I can't get anything in going all the way across, but I don't need to do that. I only have 6.5 inches to support, so just a few chunks of stuff on this end will do. I have to drill for the air line that's coming from the shop over to that hose reel, which is going to be right on the other side of the wall right here. So 2 of these have to be drilled. Then I can start putting them in, And once I get those in, we'll get this back wall and then the first joist here, and then fill the rest in. Let me show you what I'm doing here. This is one of the cutoffs from the floor joist. So I'm going to put this in here right about here and then use my level and this level on top of it and get this dead flush with the top of this rim joist here. Then I can take the level and go over here and put another one right here, and then I'll just put a 2x4 across them. I could put the 2x4 on the back side where this girt is, but I don't want to do that because if it pushes out on the tin at all, you'll be able to see it from the outside. And like I said before, we have a floor joist right here that's going to be taking the vast majority of the weight. All this thing is doing is just catching the end of the board and making it so you don't have a soft spot right at the edge there. So let's get this in place, and yeah, and then on this brace right here, I'll just screw a piece of 2x4 at the floor level, and that should do it. This is going to be a little bit clumsy. All right, we got it level that way. Hopefully I don't knock my level off of here. Okay, I think that's going to be about it. Okay, let me show you what I got before I get too far ahead of myself. I got my 4 boards in, and then I put a couple screws in, and this is sitting on top of that. I had to get another floor joist in because on this side, all I have is the top plate, and I need to set that to the top of the joist. So I put another joist in and then got it level with that. And I think what I'm going to do, even though it'll be a little bit tight, is put the next floor joist in and then get the ladder right in here and just put the level between that joist and the top of this, and then get it level all the way across, screw it in, screw it to that cross member or to that diagonal, and then that will be done. Then I can get these last two in. It's going to be a little tight back in here, but it'll work out just fine. Went and had lunch and ran to the dump. And, well, actually, before I did that, I got the hole for the airline drilled. I got to run that pipe through all these joists before I get everything closed off. And then that's going to come out right here and get hooked up to that. And I got some electric wire that has to come in over there as well. Can't forget any of that before I start putting this ceiling in. All right, so I got that last joist in, and I checked level down at the end. It was dead level, so I threw 3 screws into the end there. I pulled it over here and checked level again. It's still dead level, so I'm going to put like 4 screws into the diagonal and then go back and put a few in that riser, I'm calling it. Put a few into here, and then I'll come out and test it out here. And I'll still be able to adjust it a little bit up and down, and that should be all it needs. And we'll get screws in there and there. And I don't think I'm going to put a joist on the posts right here. I think I'm just going to put this last one in and call it a day. That's plenty. Okay, let me get some screws in there, and I'll get back with you when we start messing with that panel up there. I got to make a bunch of cuts for this, and I'll show you what I'm doing when we get to that. Okay, I got that panel cut, and I got it test fitted. Now, what I got to do, and all I did was cut the double notch there for the post and the bracket, and I cut it to length. Now what I got to do is screw a board to the top of the joist there so that I can push this up against it and tip it up. I'm going to tip it up from the underside. I got a 2x4 there. I'm going to push it up and then clamp that board to one of the joists to hold that panel up like that. Then I'm going to get glue on all of these and the front, and then we'll let the panel down onto that and nail the front edge first. Then I'll get up here and nail the entire thing. What I got to do is get the tape measure onto the edge of this board here, and I'll take this big red hammer and tap the joists exactly where they need to go on the 16-inch centers, and then put a nail in there, go to the next one, do that all the way down, and then fill in the field with nails. Once I do that, I'll have a little bit of room up here to work. I had all of my stuff right here while I was cutting that panel, and I had to move the panel. I'll have a little bit of room to spread out, and I can bring the light up here finally. And the next panel is a half panel, and that just gets dropped in. Same with the next one. And the very last one over there will get cut again. Then we just got that narrow panel at the wall, but I'm going to have to go and screw all of the other ends of these joists into that top plate at that point. I'll show you that stuff when we get to it. For now, let's tip this panel up and get some glue on top of those joists. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to get done today, but I'll get this entire floor in this video one way or the other. show you what I got here. I got 2 screws and a clamp holding this board up, and got a board on the other end. So this will hinge right down into place, hopefully without too much problem. And I'm hoping I can get glue all the way to the ends. It looks like I can. So once I get all of the glue on here, I'm going to lower this down. I'm going to take both of the screws out, and hopefully it doesn't just come crashing down and push the clamp off, but that's what I got to do. If it does, that's not that big of a deal, because it really can't go anywhere but right into place. Then I got to go up there. I have the gun ready and a straight edge. I'm going to put a straight edge on the tongue and get these 2 panels lined up as good as I can. I'll get a nail in that corner. Well, I'll have to go back and forth and make sure that it's flush on this front edge and that the 2 panels are lined up. And then once I got a couple nails in, that's it. I'm just gonna go over and get all of the nails in. I'm gonna have to go back and forth between the front and the nails on that side. This is going to be real difficult. I'm not going to film this. I'll come back and show you once I'm done. I'll film one of the other panels once I can get some light up there. There's no light up here, and this is going to be a real hairy panel to get fastened down. Okay, here we go. All right, 2 panels in place. Nice and sturdy up here. That went a lot easier than I thought it was going to go. When I pulled out those screws, the clamp held it up in place, and I just slowly untightened the clamp, and it slid down right into place. I came up here and put a single nail in there, and then put the straight edge along this tongue. Once I got it nice and straight, I put another couple nails in and just went ahead and nailed the whole thing. Now, I need a half panel for over there. I'm going to slide this panel over this way, get that stuff out of the way, and we'll get that half panel in place. And then this full panel, just like the one here, well, I think the half panel, I'm just going to have that off on the side. I'll put the glue in, and then I'll just carry that over and drop it into place. But the full panel, yeah, I got this. Yeah, that's not going to hurt. I had it up maybe that high, and that worked really well too. I could get the glue in sideways and get glue all the way up to the end here. So yeah, that's going to work. So I'm going to go cut a panel in half. That'll give me my entire next row. Well, I got to trim the one when I get down this way, but yeah, that's good. That'll probably bring me close to the end of the day. But once those are in, like I said before, I'll have, about a foot of clear space at the end, and I'll toe screw the ends of the floor joists in place at that time. Good, good, good. All right, I will get back with you when I have that panel up here. Okay, I got my panel up. I have the glue gun over there, which is almost empty. Got the next one ready right here. And I have my ends marked on the floor joists and my stopping point on this end one. Now, I just got to get some glue on this and drop it in place. I also have a wood block to tap it onto the tongue here. I'm going to stop the glue oh, maybe an inch from the end so that I don't get glue all over the top surface and have to kneel in it. So what I did was just put some 2x4s on the ground and dropped one of those panels on it, cut it in half, and I carried it over here and put it up against the ladder, and then went up 2 steps, pushed it up until it hit the pivot point, and then tipped it up here. That was a little harder than I thought it was going to be, but still manageable. All right, it is getting really late. Let's get this panel in real quick, and we'll get back to this tomorrow morning. The camera battery was going bad last night. It was almost empty, and the recordings I took of this panel right here did not come out. But I got this panel in last night, and when I got out here, I just started going to work. So I have this panel ready to go. I got to go up there and add the glue to the top of those joists. Then I got to come back down here and let it down, and then go back up again and shift it into position, tap it in so that it's on the tongue here, and nail it in place. I have everything staged and ready to go up there, so let's go get it done. I don't know, when I'm leaning forward, I might be blocking the camera. But this is basically it. Get a bead of glue on all of these floor joists, then go down there and drop it onto it. And then hopefully it'll go onto the tongue here fairly easy. But there's no guarantee of that. Yeah, these full panels have a good amount of glue. Takes a while. This glue is made for flooring though. I think it's PL 400 subfloor. So it doesn't set up super quick, which is what you need, because you're nailing it anyways. So once you set it on the glue, you got plenty of time to get it into place and then start nailing it. And over the next 24 hours or whatever it is, could even be longer than that, the glue sets. And once it's set, this stuff is pretty amazing. Just adding these panels makes this entire structure incredibly strong. Yeah, this will have to be tapped over. I should tap that over before I drop the panel. All right. grab my mallet. Should have did this before I put the glue on, but I didn't notice it. Well, we're gonna have to deal with that once we drop the panel. All right, I'm gonna head down there and set this thing down. I've been rushing ahead to try to get this done today. It is like 3:30. Come on. 3:22. I had to get all of these blockings cut. These are for the drywall. It's a lot easier to put them in from the top like this. So I just got them all in, but that took a bit of time. I also did the toe screwing. We got a screw going that way and a screw going that way, and all of these floor joists are in there really good now. I got my next piece ready to go, so let's get that fitted real quick and then we'll slobber some glue on this and move it along. Yeah, I really gotta move if I'm gonna get that last piece in today. Right, got her done. That piece was a total pain in the butt. I had to rip it on the table saw, and I had to cut that groove on this side, and flopping that big thing through the table saw was quite the task, and I didn't have the room to do it because everything's packed around the table saw, but I cleared it out, got it done, and again, it's almost dark out, so that is going to end today. Now, I can bring stuff up here, but this still gets a trim all the way around. I probably could use wood, but I was thinking of using a L shape of metal to keep the mice from going down into the wall. I put up traps around the door, so I don't think we'll be getting mice in here, but during the summer, when the door is open all day, we might get a mice or we might get a mouse or two in here. I noticed this. We got a little bit of mouse droppings right there, and I don't know what that is, hazelnut, something like that. The mice carry these around and stash them for winter. So I guess what we'll do is load this up and leave about 2 feet around the edges, and then I can rearrange things later. I really want to get, we have an outdoor hot tub. I want to get that up here, can put it right here, and get all the equipment for that up and out of the way. And some of the bulkier stuff, I'm going to need a hand getting it up here, but yeah, that's good. I can spend all day tomorrow loading stuff up here, and we'll get everything out from in front of the garage there, and the place will be all nice and tidy for winter. All right, I will see you again tomorrow. Okay, we got this place cleaned up as good as it's going to get for right now. Got the wood covered. This stuff, well, this is going to go back there, but I need to get more wood before that can do that, and it'll get covered up for the winter. That is going to come in, and I need to do some stuff in there before that can happen. And this is where a lot of that stuff ended up. It's going to be a lot nicer in here as soon as I start putting these walls on. Then I can put most of this stuff up on walls. This lawnmower is going to come way over here. That trimmer is going to come in right here. I won't have to get at this area, so everything's going to be tight up against this wall. And most of that stuff right there is either going to be over here or on shelves on the wall. So it's going to be real nice out here, but it's going to take a while to get there. I got to get a lot of this stuff up there. You could see I got that portable hot tub up there and kind of looped over the truss there. This whole area is empty right here. And, well, let's go show you what it looks like up there. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff and put it up here. Nothing is organized yet. I got to get up here and get everything organized. I had to leave that whole other side open so that Cindy and I could get this hot tub up here. Now that that's up, I can move everything way down that way, and I'll be able to get my mouse proofing all the way around. This has to be left open so that I can get my OSB on this wall, and this whole area right here needs to be left open so I can get the OSB on this wall. Next year, I'm selling a bunch of this stuff too, so it's going to get a lot better in here really soon. If you want to see those videos, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.